ladies and gentlemen. This is Ashraf Jandali, and this is our fifth episode of Photoshop Lightroom tips. In our previous episode, we were talking about how to change an image to black and white using the Silver FX Pro, and that's a software or plugin that is coming from Nik software. It's a very interesting plugin, and you can make some really beautiful and nice black and white images. In today's episode, we will be talking about how to master curves in Photoshop, especially, and as well in Lightroom, because the curve itself is available in both of them. So what you can do in curves is really extreme. You can make your image extremely beautiful just by using curves, or you can make some crazy stuff using curves as well. That is if you want to do it crazy stuff. So let's get started. Now, the way you can understand curves is the same way how I understood it from a person called Ben Willman, I believe. He's called Ben something, to be honest. I can't really recognize his name right now, but it was the most amazing way I've understood curve, or I hear about someone talking about curves. The way he demonstrated curves is just talking about a dimmer switch. As you can know, the dimmer switch is a switch that if you take it all the way up, it will increase the light, so you'll have a brighter light. And if you take it all the way down, it will become total darkness, so you will decrease the brightness. Same as you can see here, this is the dim switch or dimmer switch. This is where it's going to be extremely white if I take my dim switch or dimmer switch all the way up, and if I take it all the way down, it will become black. That is exactly how curves are working. Instead, in the curves, instead of having only one dimmer switch, or two, or three, or four, or five, we have 256 dimmer switches on that line. Okay? As you have seen, for me to be adding a dimmer switch on the line, I will just click on the line itself. To remove it, I will just click on it and drag it all the way out, and then release. Click all the way out, release, release, release. That's the way you'll take it out. Okay. Now, for me to be able to demonstrate what this point is doing, let's say for example, I will be taking a white image. This is an extremely white image. Since it is white, I will have only one part of the image, which is this one. This is extremely bright. This is the brightest area in the image, which is this the only one which we have in this image because it's only white. So if I grab this point and I will take it down, look or watch what's really happening to the image. Okay, I'm gonna take it halfway. It is now halfway. Watch down this area and that area. I call this side of the curve down, I call this area the before, and I call this area after. So my point before, it was having this brightness, and if I see where it's going to intersect with my curve, it is in this area right now. If I look at this area, I can see now it is this color or this amount of brightness it's gonna have. So this is the before and this is the after. If I take it all the way down, so I'm changing the after from this side, I'll take it all the way down here. So I'll grab the point and I will grab it down, so then finally it will become black. That is exactly what you are doing on each and every point in your image if you have a true image. Right now we have only white, white image like so. So right now we will start demonstrating the same on a real image. In this image, I want to have some drama in my sky. Let me remove these points. I was playing around. And let me remove the curve to show you how to get that. Now, this is my image. That's the way you start with your Photoshop. This is your background image. And if you go to the adjustment layer, you click on that, which has, you know, a circle with black and white, circle. If I click on that, I will be reaching to something called curves. I will click on this and it will automatically have the adjustment layer above my image. Now that's my curve. You can see from that there's a graph happening inside. And I can, just looking at this graph, I can understand what's there in my image. This is the bright area in my image, and this is the dark area in my image. As you can see in this image, the brightest area in that image is the sky, and the darkest area in the image is this side, That's exactly what this graph is telling me. It says that this mountain here, it's representing my sky because it's in the bright area in my image. And that, another huge mountain, because it's a huge area depending or corresponding to my image, that's a huge mountain. It's somehow in this dark area in my image. So if I want to affect my sky, I can simply just come here, you know, and drag it down. If I want to drag, you know, the dark area of my sky, and if I want to, you know, play around with my bright area in my sky, I can also click here and play around with that. I can do it by just guessing. But why do I require to guess where I have this hand tool? If I click on this hand tool, this will help me whenever, look at the curve right now. When I'm moving on the image, it will tell me your sky is represented in this area. Now the darkest area somehow in my image is here. I'll just click on it, and while I'm just keep on clicking, I will not release my finger, my left button, I will not release it. While I'm clicking, I will drag down. So this is taking the area which I have chosen in the sky, which is the darkest area almost in the sky. I'll make it darker. And now I've released. So that's the point where I did mention it was this brightness. And now, after, it became this brightness. If you think about it, it was here. If you go all the way to the line where it was before, it was having this brightness. And I've taken it all the way till here. So that is the after. It was like that and it became this brightness. Now the same thing, I can reach to the brightest area in my sky, which is almost here. You can see in the graph. I click on that and I will drag it a little bit up, and now I've added some drama in my sky. But watch what happened to the rest of the image. Why did this happen to my image where I was just touching the sky? The graph, while playing with this point and that point, the shape of the graph has changed, which is in this area, as you can see. And that area represents this place in the image. Let's say I want to take it back. I can grab this place and I want somehow to have the line exactly where it was, which is my reference somewhere here. Okay, so I'll try my level best to keep it exactly the place where it was, which is somewhere like that. So this is the area which is representing this part of my image. I brought back my curve exactly where it was before. So that's why I brought back my image almost where it was, but I have a, you know, screwed somehow area in this place. You can see the before and the after. Watch this portion of the image. It's almost the same. There's no any that huge change in it. But look at the sky. Yes, there is a big change. That's where, if I want to affect only the sky, that's where I will be talking about the use of the mask later on in this tutorial. Now let's come back to our original image. I'm removing all the points which I put. Now if I want to have more details in the wood, which as you can see in this image, let me zoom in by pressing the Command or Control 1. This will make me zoom to my image. Now in the wood, I will be choosing, because I want to have more details in those, you know, cracks which is happening in the wood. How can I do that? I'm looking only on the wood right now. I don't care about anything in the image. I will just be looking at the wood. I will be grabbing also the hand tool. And now if I will go to the place where, you know, the crack is happening, the darkest area in the wood is this one. And you can see on the graph, look at the graph, where is it happening? It's the lowest thing, and this is the most darkest point in the image. Okay, but I don't want that because that's extremely dark. I will be going to the place where the crack is, which is here. Okay, and I will click on it and I will drag down because I want it to be a little bit darker, like so. And I will go to the brightest point somehow in my or in the wood. Let's say this one. I think that's almost, yes, this is the part which is very bright in the wood. I click on it and I will drag up like so. Okay, now watch what happened to the wood. I will click on Command 0 or Control 0. Look at the difference. Look at details which I've been able to get on the wood. Look at the before and after. Before, after. Okay? Now in that way, where, look at the graph. I have a steep area which is going all the way from the right to the left. When I have this shape, which is exactly that shape, which is a steep curve going all the way from the right to the left, this means I have details. I'm emphasizing the details in the image, and that's what exactly happened to the wood. At the same time, if I look at the sky, I can see that I made a huge change in the sky, and as I've said, this part is affecting the sky. This is the part. So if I want the sky to come back, all I have to do is bring this curve all the way to the place that it was before. Okay? So if I, let's say, try my level best to grab the curve and take it somehow close to where it was, which is on the line. If I click right now the before and after, watch like only the place which is related to the wood and the building is affected. The sky is almost not touched somehow. Why? Because I brought back the curve exactly where it was. And that's the area which is representing the sky. Got it? Now, again, there are another two shapes that I want to show you. If I have a place where, let's say, let me remove those all the way out. Okay. Now, I'll get back to the sky again. Now, I will take the darkest area in my image. I click on it. Okay. And the brightest area in my sky, I'll click on it. Look at that. I have now those two areas representing my sky. Now, if I want to have no details in the sky, what can I do? I have to have a flat curve. A section which is representing the sky needs to be flat. If it's flat, that means I will not be having any details in the sky. So to have it flat, either I will raise this point all the way up to reach to this level, or I will take this one all the way down to reach that level. Or I can take this one a little bit up and this one a little bit down, and they will, intersect in the, in the middle of that area. Now, for me to choose between those 2 points, I will press Shift and plus. Okay, look at how I'm changing to the first point, second point, third point, fourth point, and so on. I can keep on going doing that by pressing Shift plus, okay, or minus, go the before or after point. Okay, so right now I want to grab this point down, so now I'm clicking on the down arrow, and I will try somehow to reach the almost same level of that point, which is almost in this place. Okay, somehow I'm not really having a flat. If I want to have it flat, I will try to make it like so. Okay, this is flat. Okay, watch what happened to the sky. I don't have any details in the sky. The details has went out. Why? Because I have a flat curve, a flat area in the curve. That's where you need to be careful, because when you're starting to screw your image, that's one of the things how you can screw it. That's one of the things. So you need to be careful that you don't have a flat area in your image. The second way to screw your image is as simple as having the reverse way of the steep. You remember the steep when it was, from right to left? I can just make it from left to right. Watch what I can do with the sky right now. If I will have this point, which is the dark area in the sky, and the bright area in the sky, if I will have the opposite of whatever the steep was, look now what's happening to the sky. We have a steep from left to right, and that's where we will have some crazy stuff in our image. Let me demonstrate exactly what's happening. I have my brightest area in my image, which is the white, and I have the darkest area in my image, which is the black. If I take my point, which is the white, all the way down, look at this place. What I'm doing to my point. It was totally white. As I said, look at this area, this place. It was totally white, and I'm going to take this point. I'm changing it all the way to the black. Since my brightest thing in the image was white, and I change it to black, this means the whole image gonna be black. And if I say what was black, totally black, take it all the way up, and I'm gonna make it white. What have I done? I've done the negative. I've done the invert. Whatever was black became white, and whatever white became black. And that's where you're gonna have a steep, which is going from left to right. That's the way you can screw your image. So that's when you will know that you're doing something wrong in your image. When you have a steep going from left to right, and when you have a steep going from right to left, we are emphasizing our details. Let me go back very fast because I don't want to take from your time too much. Let me get back fast and tell you what we can do with the mask. Again, I want to affect my sky, and I don't want to affect my other part of the image. I will go to the darkest area in the sky. I will take it down. I'll make it more darker. I will go to the place where it is bright and make it a little bit more brighter. In that way, I emphasize my sky. Look at the before and look at after. Now I will take advantage of this mask. In that mask, I will invert it. I will make it black. Now, just for you to understand, whoever doesn't know about mask, when it is white, it is totally white, as if I'm putting a white sheet on my layer. That means whatever is on this layer will be affected. So the effect which I've done is this effect on that layer. Whenever it is black, okay, I will not have any effect of the curve that I have done. So I will invert it to black, all by pressing the Command I or Control I. This will make my mask black. Since it is black, I have not a single effect on my image. Look at when I press the eye, it's nothing. There's no single effect on that adjustment layer. Now for me to apply whatever setting, look at the setting which I have in my curve. That curve is still there. It did not change. If I want to bring back whatever I have done to the sky, all I have to do is choose my brush, or by pressing B. I have my brush right now, and I will increase the size of this brush by pressing the brackets, which you can see on the screen here. This is the way I can increase the size by decreasing or increasing the size of the brush. And for me to be able to reveal what effect I have done on the curve, I will have to paint on the mask with white. As we said, white will reveal what is under this mask. So then I will have to change my foreground color to white by pressing on this one, or I can press X. See, I can change between black and white, black and white. So I want white now, and now I can simply reduce my opacity to, I like to start with 30%, so I will not have like a sudden change in my in my mask. And then I will make sure that my hardness is all the way to 0%, because then the edges will be very hard. So I'll make my hardness all the way to 0%, and now I'll start drawing with white to the areas where I want to emphasize the the sky. So I'll just do it very fast. I'm not going to be very accurate on the building, just to give you or to demonstrate for you how we can remove the effect on the building and have it only on the sky just by using the mask. If I press on the mask itself, if I press Alt and then I will click on it, I will see exactly where am I painting. I can know exactly where are the places I'm losing, or I did not really paint properly. So I can then come back and draw in a property that was totally black, so I can just go back and clean it and make it all white to reveal all the all the effect of the curve on the sky. But watch on the edges will be smooth, will not have like a sudden change on the image. If I press Alt and then back on the curve, I will be able to see the effect back. If I press now before and after, look at that effect is happening only on the sky. And I hope this really gave you an idea about the curves, how easy it is, and how you can really have a very nice images just by dealing with the curve. And by the way, you can have multiple of curves. Let's say if I'll do it fast, if I can also go and have another curve, which in that curve itself I want to affect only the wood. Now I can make another curve or adjustment layer. I can go to my hand tool. I can do exactly what I showed you on the wood. I can now go to my darkest area on the wood. I will make it darker. The brightest area in the wood, I'll make it brighter, and I can then use my mask to take this effect out from the sky, or I can just simply come to that curve and just take it the way it was, like so. So now I'm affecting only this area, I'm not affecting the sky. That's how you can play around with curves. I really encourage you to start playing with curves. Do some dramatic stuff, no problem, but you will understand exactly how curves are working. I hope this was really informative for you. For those who find it informative, please click on like. That will really help me. You can also subscribe to my channel. And finally, you can also subscribe or like me in my Facebook, so you can have all the updates on my images or my videos that I'm posting. Thank you for watching. This is Ashraf Jandali, and have a nice day.